Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here by Adrian's Weather Forecast. As you guys can tell, there's going to be another major update on the huge cold front that will bring in incredibly cold air. We have major new updates, and I'm actually not kidding. These cold fronts are getting a lot worse as we keep on refreshing the models. It's going to get up to 25 degrees below average in some areas. Last time we checked, it didn't even get past 21. So guys, going to get very cold. It's going to be dangerously cold, bringing back these single digits and negative digits in areas that should be seeing these 40s turning to 50s as we get warmer. But it's actually not going to get warmer. It's going to get colder. This cold air can also last up to the rest of the month in some areas such as the southeast and the east coast again. This is going to bring in winter temperatures, killing crops once again. That's going to be another huge issue. So not even if you have a pool in your backyard, you might have to wait another couple of weeks, which you probably don't want to. So we're going to be seeing this warm front in the next couple of hours, still out here into the southeast and mid Atlantic, and then slowly you start to see these temperatures go down, and at some point it's going to get into the low 40s in my areas and maybe even 30s in around mid-April, which is not exactly rare, but something we don't really see every year. So again, be sure to subscribe, especially if you want to know more about this very cold air and how long it will last, and see exactly if we'll have a couple warm fronts in between these. I believe it's 4 to 5 major warm fronts. We have one that's going to bring in the worst of the cold. But be sure to subscribe and share my channel so we can get to 2,090 subscribers by the end of this week. Let's get into it. So here we're looking at the 6 to 10 day outlook here for NOAA. And you can just tell if you've watched the video I did 2 days ago, this is completely different and a lot worse. We're getting up to 80 to a 90% chance for above average, or sorry, for below average temperatures. I might have to use the yellow so you guys can actually see, maybe actually the pink. So yeah, here is where we have possibly the biggest chance for below average temperatures. And it's covering more than 80% of the U.S., mainland U.S. We're having the little tips out here on the coast that will be seeing the warmer temperatures because the ridge going to dip down like this, not necessarily all of this. So that's the reason why we're still seeing these warmer temperatures out here. And it's not going to be too bad. Again, we're only going to be seeing a 70 to 80% chance for warm temperatures, but it actually won't be as huge of a difference in this cold air as we'll be seeing 25 plus degrees below um, 25 degrees below average, and here possibly only seeing 10 degrees above average. And also you have even multiple pools here, especially in Florida and southern Georgia. Many residents have pools and all that, but right here you might have to bring your coat back, and I'm not kidding, you're gonna have to bring your coat back. We're gonna be seeing mid-January temperatures in some of these areas, guys. We're gonna be seeing 20 plus degrees below average in areas for not hours but days, and it's gonna get gradually worse as it moves east instead of diminishing like other cold fronts. This is gonna be like some type of fall system. So again, it's going all the way from the Pacific Northwest down to the west, all the way down to close to the Mexico border, all the way up to Maine. So definitely a very millions going to get impacted. I think like 300 million will get impacted, or no, not 300 million, probably like 200, maybe 80 million will be impacted. And again, right here is where we have the best chance, not necessarily the coldest out of all of everybody, but the best chance for below average temperatures, and that's where we have the 80 to a possibly 90% chance. The other shade, that's where we have our second best chance. That's going to be going all the way up to Texas. That's a 70 to 80% chance. And it's not 100%, guys, but this system, this cold front, could possibly bring in another major winter storm. I'm not going to exactly announce where exactly because I don't want people to get excited, but it's going to be mainly into the south central where areas we don't see snow in mid-April. So definitely something we're not used to seeing this April. And again, really this cold air is just going to be coming all the way throughout Canada. It's going to be impacting the United States, and it's going to be going through dead center United States instead of the West Coast. Once it goes through dead center U.S., it's gonna be really really bad. Not gonna come out for a couple of maybe weeks. Now we look at the 8 to 12 day, 8 to 14 days. It doesn't really make a huge difference. We kind of see the warm air kind of getting less as bad. Really, only 33 to 40% chance. And as you can kind of tell, the colder air does kind of move a bit westward as well. So you can tell Nevada and almost all of California was above average. Now we're starting to see that kind of changing. We're seeing also kind of moving towards a bit more. These layers are moving a bit more to the north as well. So you can kind of see these. The deeper the layers are starting to move a bit more now to the northeast and slowly getting to the south central. That's why we'll possibly see this colder lasting a lot longer in the southeast. It's going to arrive a bit later. The worst of it, it's still going to be there for a couple of weeks. Again, we're still at a 80 to a 90% chance for below average temperatures. Still really warm again off the southeast and Gulf Coast, especially from the high pressure system. Again, really warm though. This little ridge is you're gonna be seeing a possibly 40-degree difference between a week of temperature. So let's say Monday it could possibly be, for example, Nebraska, maybe even Wednesday, maybe 70 degrees Fahrenheit for the high, and then possibly the next day. Not the next day, but maybe 3 or 4 days later, once the heart of this cold front arrives, your highs can either possibly be 35 degrees, and then your lows can be possibly in maybe 9 degrees. So it's definitely something. It's going to be a huge difference, and you're going to be seeing these temperatures kind of go up, then kind of go down a little bit, and then maybe stay a little bit because of the cold front, the warm front right in between, and then it's going to drop down, and then it's going to pick up after another warm front, and then drop back down. Because we're going to be seeing cold fronts coming in, and then they're going to be cooling off the Atlantic, and then we're going to have a warm front from Canada come again and kind of again. It's very complicated, but wow, we're going to be seeing very warm, cold temperatures, especially moving all the way down to Dallas. We're seeing 60 to 70% chance for below average temperatures. It's going to be coast to coast, all the way from Maine to Washington. So very big of a cold front. If it wasn't as big or not as really game changing, it wouldn't really be a major topic. And it's not only just one cold front, it's going to be like multiple of them, and 2 of them will be very big. Again, we're going to be looking at the first cold front. It's going to be coming by later this week. So again, we're going to be continuing to see this really warm air in the south central and to the mid-Atlantic and the east coast. Again, we're going to continue to see these temperatures rise up maybe 5 to 8 degrees. I'm going to be reaching 83 by tomorrow, and then once it gets to 83 at the highest, it's going to start to die down a little bit now, gradually making the highs a lot cooler. So again, you're not going to be seeing this cold front tomorrow or 2 days from now or possibly even 3 days from now. It's going to be later this week, and it's going to be coming in by really mid next week. You're going to see differences in the Midwest. You're going to be seeing it's very small at the start, only bringing 2 to 5 degrees below average compared to possibly 12 degrees above average south of that. But again, here we have that the heart of it will be actually in Canada. And with this cold air in the southwest here, the cold air in the Pacific, the cold air in the northern Atlantic, it's gradually going to connect, and boom, now you see just like that, within a couple of hours, almost all of the United States is below average temperatures, when just a couple of days ago, it's like this. So something really, you're going to be seeing a huge difference. And again, it's going to slowly, this cold air isn't going to start off bad. It's going to be maybe 4 to 6 degrees below average in some areas. The worst of it will actually be the southwest. And that's where we'll possibly seeing 8 to 16 degrees below average. We're going to be seeing very cold temperatures. Not necessarily looking like we're going to have a huge chance for any big snowmakers coming from the Rockies or Sierras, because the Pacific Northwest is above average, and we'll have to have this cold air coming from British Columbia and the moisture meeting up all of this, but we don't have the ingredients. We have 1, but not 2. Again, seeing this cold air continuing to spill out all the way into the Dakotas still, and that's going to kind of connect into now one region, mainly in the Midwest, and also going to start moving towards the Northeast again. Like I said, we're going to be seeing some bit of a warmness in between, so you're going to start seeing maybe getting to maybe 1 degree above average, when the next day or the day before you're seeing 3 degrees. And then the day right after that, you're seeing possibly now 8 to 10 degrees below average. This is Friday. and then it's going to continue to it's going to start to fall apart a little bit. Maybe bring some cold air in Florida. Bring that maybe really not extremely cold air. Won't really feel it there. Only maybe 2.5 to 4 degrees below average there. And then we have the second cold front. But before we have that, we always have to have the warm front come first, and that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have that warm front kind of spill out first, and that's where we're gonna be seeing that cold air or that bit warmer air now, possibly seeing some areas 4 to 8 degrees above average. But look at the size of this. This is gonna possibly be twice, if not 3 times, as cold as the original, the first one, and the size of it's just gonna be massive. Again, it's going to start off bringing the coldest temperatures. It's going to start off with that. It's not going to come off weak like the first one, and it's going to bring in very cold air, possibly 20 degrees below average. It's going to be going all the way down from the Dakotas to the Texas border. But look at Monday. This is a massive system now, possibly bringing in 22 degrees below average, bringing 15 plus degrees below average out here, stretching from Texas up to areas near Pennsylvania. And you can tell it's going to continue. It's not going to get any worse. It's going to continue to thrive, and it's going to feed off this cold air north of it. It's going to continue to bring in very cold air at 20 degrees below average. I don't exactly know the averages for example, in northern Texas and New Mexico. Those could be some of the areas that could be seeing that snowstorm. So I don't know exactly if it's going to be well below freezing or anything, but we're definitely be seeing cold enough to have some late minute system. Usually the only systems we really see that are major at the time of the year is going to be obviously some north central systems and nor'easters. Again, it's going to be covering, again, you can tell this is covering around 95% of the mainland United States. So it's no joke, and it's going to continue to thrive all the way to maybe a third system that's going to possibly bring around 20 degrees below average as well. And it's going to be more, this third one will be more of a Great Lakes system as well, and possibly Ohio Valley one. That will possibly see the coldest air on this third one by April 18th, possibly seeing 10 plus degrees below average. Continuing to see this cold air by the 19th. Looks like it's all over with the warm air covering all of the western United States and even all the way up into Canada. But you're probably thinking it's over. But nope, we have that warm air starting in Ontario, and that's going to kind of cut off this warm air, and that's going to possibly prevent the warm air from arriving southeast and eastern United States for maybe a couple of days, because it kind of looks like Canada's going to start warming up now. So the whole west coast and this cold air, and eastern Canada is the only thing we were really living on for this cold air, and that's going to be kicked out. So I think after the 22nd we might have this warmer come back, but again, we still have 9 days after of, I believe, we still have 9 more days of April after this, the 22nd. So technically this is going to be going all the way into the end of end of April, but I don't know exactly if it's going to be the end all the way up to April 31st. That's the thing there. We have that major warm air. And then here we look at the European. Again, this is what we're looking at. Wednesday, again, very warm air out here into the south central Ozarks, eastern United States, really much of the United States. And then we have these two cold fronts that will obviously connect, and that's going to cut off the chain and keeping the warm air in the Pacific Northwest for a couple weeks now. So we're going to be looking at Wednesday. We're possibly seeing areas for 10 to 15 degrees above average, and then we're seeing the cold front possibly bringing 12 to 15 degrees below average there. Again, all the way by into Thursday, this cold front's going to get a lot worse. It's going to start off bringing at the front lines of this cold front, bringing in 4 to 7 degrees below average. And really the center, that's where we'll possibly seeing the 11 to 13 degrees below average. Seeing the warm air kind of trying to really hang on to this and this, but it won't make the cut. Eventually by Friday, it's going to release the cold air into this other cold front. It's going to open up the window, and that's what's going to bring in the cold air all across country. So here by Friday, we're still seeing the 12 degrees below average. It's going to be very cold throughout the Great Lakes, eastern United States. And then this is where we see the second cold front. So we're still going to be seeing this cold air as the second one's just arriving in the United States. And it's going to bring it already at 16 close to 17 degrees below average all the way up into Canada, and it's not even close to its strongest point. So again, still going to be seeing that warm air right in between, as the Gulf Coast is still quite warm, and it's going to find an open window, and that's going to bring warm air throughout the weekend. Not going to be too much of a problem. The warmest will be off into the ocean, but we're still going to be seeing areas like 10 degrees above average. As it arrives in the United States, just look at the size of this. This is a massive cold front, and we can't even see all of it yet. Bringing 21 degrees below average out here in Montana and Wyoming, and these are areas that see the snowiest month is actually April. So who knows how many big blizzards we will be seeing out there into the Rockies. And look at this, gets up to 23 degrees below average. And you think it's done, but look at this, 24 degrees below average. I don't think I've seen such a big cold front at this cold in this time of the year, or really ever. And then you think it's still done, it's going to be falling down. But look at this, we're still seeing 22 degrees to 25 degrees below average. This is crazy. And this is going to move at 20 degrees below average at its maximum into areas such as Mississippi, the Southeast, the Ozarks, the South Central. I don't think these areas have seen cold fronts this big in a while. And it's going to go all the way with up to 16 to 20 degrees below average out here into the mid-Atlantic. And look how big this thing is still. It's going all the way to California. We're still seeing major areas in the suburbs and millions to see 5 to 10 degrees above average, if not that 20 mark. And last but not least, we're going to be taking a very quick look at the temperatures again, so you guys can see how much it's impacting Dallas. You guys will hit the 90s later this week. That's how warm it's going to get. So here we have that warm front. That's what we're going to be seeing right now. But pay attention as these temperatures start to cool off. You're going to start seeing now 40s and 50s moving in. And now we're going to be seeing these 20s and possibly teens moving in from that first cold front. Look at this. Now you're seeing 55 in Dallas, and you just saw 90 2 days before. That's already a 40-degree difference within 2 days, if not less. Seeing these 20s arrive in Nebraska, and if you didn't see Nebraska earlier on Wednesday, we'll be seeing 71, 75, and 78 near Lincoln on Tuesday. The next couple of days, we're now reaching 28, and that's a 3-day difference, and we are seeing a huge difference, up to 45 degree below, 45 degree drop. And look, we're gonna be seeing this cold air now moving towards the east, starting to see some 40s and 30s in the southeast, starting to see these 70s now in Florida instead of 80s and 90s. We're gonna be seeing below freezing temperatures not far from me. We're gonna be seeing 34 for me, which is actually, not gonna lie, it's pretty cold for April, as I just saw 80s earlier 2 weeks ago. We're going to be seeing these close to 40s now all the way into the Gulf. Still seeing now the coldest of the air be moving towards the east. And, of course, we're going to start seeing that little warm-up. And now you're going to be seeing these 50s again, 70s. And we're going to start seeing, it's not going to be as bad as the one we're seeing now, because it's not going to be as long-lasting. But by Sunday, again, we're seeing that cold air arriving. And look at this. You're going to be seeing a huge difference. We're going to be seeing 30s now in Oklahoma. We're going to be seeing single digits out here into the Rockies. And now as we continue on, it's not going to get any better with that other cold front. And that's going to bring in very cold temperatures out there into, and then, yeah, basically, as you continue to look, you're going to see these temperatures in the west get a lot warmer. And once that really happens, it's going to move east. I hope you got into the video, and bye, guys.